Hi guys, it's Elizabeth from Elizabeth's Oracle. Welcome back, or welcome for the first time. If it's your first time watching one of my videos, we are going to talk about the Sun through Taurus cycle of 2016, which includes a lot of Earth energy, tons of retrogrades way beyond Mercury, and a lot of activity in that mutable cross. So here are the start times for each section so you can get right to what's important to you. And I also want to invite you to check out the astrology of the Panama papers. All this stuff is related, but I didn't know how much the regular sun through the cycle people wanted the Panama papers, so I just made two videos separately. So definitely check that out if you want to know more about the Panama papers and what the astrological aspects are around that. I just find it very compelling, and it's, the stuff I love to dig into. So hope you enjoy, and let's talk about Taurus. Okay, so starting on the 19th of April, we have the Sun moving into Taurus. And while the Sun is in Taurus, it will be joined by Mercury, which is already in Taurus. And then on the 29th, Venus will come into Taurus. So Venus is the planet that rules Taurus. Mercury is getting ready for that retrograde in Taurus, and this is a very long stay for Mercury in a sign, but because of that retrograde, it stays in Taurus for a long time. So let's break that down. Taurus is the second sign of astrology, and it is fixed Earth. It is the first Earth sign in astrology. So when we talk about planets, signs being initiating or cardinal, fixed or mutable, the fixed ones are the ones in the middle, and they hold the energy of their respective seasons. So in this case, we have Taurus holding down the energy of the spring, which is so easy for all of us in the northern hemisphere to connect with. So we talk about physical manifestation, the material world, and of course, plants, animals, all of those things. Now, when we look at the chart for the cycle, this is when the Sun moves in, and I've highlighted everything in green that's in an Earth sign. We then move counterclockwise to follow along here on into Virgo, the second sign that is an Earth sign in astrology, and there you'll see Jupiter and the North Node, and Pluto in the third Earth sign, and that is Capricorn. I call this the Earth sign trifecta. So we have a lot of Earth energy, meaning we are going to be dealing with things that manifest in our physical reality. So that could be health issues, that could be financial issues, issues of income, resources, how it comes through in this dimension. So when we have that many things in Earth, that's what we tend to deal with. One of the aspects of Taurus that I really like working with, and you guys who know me well know that I always encourage this at this time of year, is the grounding element. Because we have a big mutable cross superimposed or taking place simultaneously, things can feel really unstable. And Taurus really grounds us and gives us that sense of connecting with the earth, feeling rooted. It's associated with trees. So if you think of that, and I know a lot of you who meditate have done the meditation where, you feel yourself literally rooting into the earth like a tree and then connecting up with the heavens. And that's a very Taurus thing to do, and an energy that would be very helpful if any of the global events are making you feel unsafe or uncertain. Taurus is a wonderful energy for helping you feel very secure, because it really is about security and it's about strength. Remember, the totem or symbol is the bull, very strong animal, always with all of its feet connected with the earth, so feeling really grounded. So it's definitely an energy you can pull in, and if you want to, it's totally free. I'm not trying to sell anything, but there's a Taurus meditation. I'll put that in the description box that I've posted here on YouTube, so if you really feel stressed out, you can just tune in for 4 minutes, do a mini meditation and ground. So And the fact that this year in 2016, we have all of the earth signs being activated at the same time means there's even more resonance for that grounded earth energy. So it's just something to think about. And with Venus in there, so here's the chart for Venus coming into that. You see that we get a lot more coming in there. And here is that new Taurus moon at the beginning of May. And for anybody having abundance challenges or issues around income, finances, or things that, need a material component, remember that word resource. So we just connect with source, resource, like you're downloading some more, or just that sense of security, which is, I find with not only myself, but working with clients, it's so much a state of mind. But given the volatility and the things that we've seen in the outer world this year, and with all 4 of the retrogrades being in earth signs, we knew that markets and all of that stuff were going to have a volatile year. That was pretty predictable. So that moon, that was my point, is a really good one for a grounding meditation and for you putting out any intention or affirmation that no matter what goes on, you are very rooted, you are always secure, and that you are grounded throughout all of this. So that's the earth sign part. Let's move quickly on to all those planets in retrograde and the coming Mercury retrograde. What's that about? Okay, so I kind of set you guys up for this last month when the sun was going through Aries. And I said, get stuff done because we're getting ready for an onslaught of planets retrograde. So on the 25th of March, Saturn went retrograde. And then on the 17th of April, Mars went retrograde. On the 19th, Pluto. We have a whole lot going retrograde, and we are, as I'm recording this video, we're already in the shadow of the Mercury retrograde, and the Mercury retrograde starts on the 28th. Here are the dates. I'm just going to keep posting these cards as I'm talking so you guys can know when these retrogrades are, when they're going to end. And one of the good things about this cycle, we do have some good news. Jupiter finally goes direct. Yay! So those of you who since back in January were like, oh my goodness, this year is just going to start out, bumpy, and of course, again, we had all that volatility. It just was sort of in the stars. They really signaled that this is how a lot of this energy was going to manifest, and Jupiter is huge. I mean, and it's a little redundant. It is the planet of largesse, and I can't underscore its role in the current astrological aspects, especially this Taurus cycle, because not only is it in an earth sign, the mutable earth sign of Virgo, connecting with the North Node, but Virgo is also mutable. And so we're talking about being part of this whole cross that I'm going to get to in a second. But that is going to be some relief for people who feel like they've struggled all year and have not been able to get ahead no matter how hard they've worked. Think of that as a big boat. And before you can turn a boat around, you really have to slow it down, then turn it around, and then get its momentum going. So by early August, Jupiter will have picked up all its steam to finish out this transit of Virgo. So just kind of know, though, after May 9th, you should start to feel like, okay, some things are starting to come back online. I'm not saying everything's going to happen in leaps and bounds because of all the retrogradation, but that is sort of a bright spot as all these other retrogrades happen. The Mars one, pay attention to because it's in Sag going back into Scorpio. I'm going to talk about that more in the Sun into Gemini video because it goes back into Scorpio the end of May. But this is a lot of energy kind of asking us to slow down, creating some delays, but also giving us time to work with the things that have shown up in our lives. And if we can look at the time as a gift, look at the first one that I talked about here was Saturn, which rules time. If you can see the opportunity of your circumstances and what benefits you might gain from waiting or working a little harder or putting a little more time into your endeavors or giving things a little more of a chance, that's going to be super helpful. And again, as these retrogrades clear and we clear the shadows of all of them, then you're going to see, how things panned out, and you're an active part of that. So that's the story on the retrogrades. The Mercury thing isn't too monumental, but it's in an earth sign. So I would predict another, sort of shake up in resources on the global financial stage, everything that comes from the earth, which is what Taurus rules, or anything coming out of the ground, the resources, as they call them, commodities, those things will probably get a little bumpy again. So that's that part. But let me talk finally about the mutable element here, because that's getting ready to heat up, and I kind of want to give you a little bit of the heads up, okay? All right, so book ending this time, it's a really important thing. I didn't have a lot of time to talk about it as it was happening, but as I looked over everything, I was like, no, this is very important. So we have 2 squares between Jupiter and Saturn. One that took place on the eclipse on the 23rd of March, and one coming up at the end of May. Now, obviously, those aren't happening exactly during this Taurus cycle, but because they're bookending both pretty much this Aries and Taurus sun cycle period, I thought I'd bring them up because this is a battle between where we want to expand and where we're being restricted. We're also talking about the Sag energy of being hopeful, and Virgo, being the one that says, well, let's deal with the facts, let's keep it realistic. And that's usually Saturn's role. So it's kind of complex, but it is a bit of a battle. So if you feel like you've been going through energies that are very back and forth, very up and down, this is some of the explanation. And the more important thing, as the sun heads into Gemini, I'm putting a little chart for that here, you can see that when we look at the mutables, and we're going to go into the details of the exact dates of oppositions and squares during that cycle in that video, but what you can see is for the 4 placements for mutables, let me say that again. For the mutable signs, we are going to have a planet, at least one planet in every single one of those, and that's huge. So that's a full mutable cross, and we're not going to have an exact one, but we're going to have times when those energies get very intense. So when we talk about mutables, of course, it affects the Geminis, Virgos, Pisces, and Sagittarians more than others, or if that's your rising or moon, or where those things pile up in your chart. Big energies of change, big shifts coming up there. And I just kind of wanted to give you the heads up on that, because you'll be feeling that during this cycle. So when you're called to let go of something, or to move on, or to release it, that's just going to intensify. So just kind of move with that energy as best as possible. All right, so that's the Sun into Taurus cycle in a quick little nutshell. And like I said, I'm also recording today my the Astrology of the Panama Papers special. So I hope you guys will check that out, because I think this thing has big global implications, especially as we go through. We not only dig in with all the retrogrades, but then when the Sun goes into Gemini, communication, we have a whole lot more coming out about this. So I hope you'll check that out. Otherwise, I am Elizabeth from Elizabeth's Oracle. Here's my YouTube special. I give readings, I do charts, all that smash, as they say. You can check it out at elizabethsoracle.co. I also do a monthly radio report with my friend Kristy Ayala over on Blog Talk Radio on her show Kristy's Connection to the Soul. Hi, Kristy. And thank you guys for listening to that and supporting that. That's awesome. And I also had the opportunity to check in with my other friend Kristy Walsh, for you guys on SoundCloud. She has a show called Surfing the Psychic Waves, and we talked a bit about the Panama Papers. We talked about the sun in Taurus, but we also talked about some of the bigger trends happening this summer astrologically and the big implications for this huge year. So the links to everything are always in the description box. So you guys, thanks so much for watching, and I just hope you have some time to get out in a garden, hug a tree, and all those wonderful Taurus things, because no matter what all this crazy going on in the external world and all of that, Taurus is just the most amazing grounded energy. It's a way to feel such peace throughout anything. Okay, so thanks for watching, and we'll see you when the sun heads into Gemini.